Hi, my name is Shaya, and I am the camp director at Camp Coping Skills. At Camp Coping Skills, we like to discuss with our campers how to deal with negative stressors in positive and healthy ways. We teach our campers about using deep breathing techniques, distraction coping skills, art and music therapy, talk therapy, and so on. Here at camp, we also teach campers how to effectively make safe and responsible decisions when they find themselves in a variety of situations. Today, we are going to introduce you to some campers and give you a glimpse into their lives.
Hi, my name is Amira. My parents are arguing all the time at home. They don't think I've noticed. How could I not? They were shouting at each other the other day. I even heard them talking about getting a divorce. I just want them to stop. I don't know which parent I should side with. I don't know how to solve this.
Amira is experiencing emotions like fear, worry, anger, and confusion. She's not sure what to do to help herself deal with these feelings and better cope with the situation.
Hi, my name is Jalen, and I'm a perfectionist. Everything I have to do is perfect. I spend hours on my schoolwork every day to get perfect scores. I stay after basketball practice trying to make my foul shot flawless.
Many days Jalen misses out on other opportunities with friends and family because he is just too busy trying to be perfect. He puts too much pressure on himself and needs help finding a healthier way of coping with his desire to always be perfect at everything.
Hi, my name is Izzy. My dad has a substance use disorder. He is addicted to cigarettes. I am worried about my father's health and how this substance affects him.
Izzy is not alone. Unfortunately, about 1 in every 8 children live with at least one parent who suffers from a substance use disorder. Izzy isn't sure how to get her dad help. As one of her trusted adults, I can offer some resources and possible solutions to Izzy and her family.
Hi, I'm Roz. I get bullied by some kids at school. They call me a nerd and make fun of me for wearing glasses. Sometimes if I don't respond to them, they even push me around. I try to act like those names don't bother me, but really, I don't want to go to school anymore. My stomach always hurts because of all the name calling. I don't understand why my classmates don't try to stop the bullies. They just stand around and watch.
Unfortunately, about 1 out of every 5 school-age students report being bullied at school. The good news is we're going to be able to provide some help to Raj with his situation. First, though, we are going to discuss Amira's situation as a large group. We will use Amira's situation as an example to work through together. I will model how you will use the pump the brakes strategy for problem solving, and then later in the video, you will use this strategy with the other 3 camper situations in smaller groups. The first thing Amira needs to know is that none of this is her fault. There is nothing she could have done to prevent this situation, and there was nothing she did to cause her parents' arguments. All right, let's get started. With Amira's situation, what are some ways she could get help? Obviously, Amira might choose some actions that might not be helpful in the long run because she's angry and sad. But let's focus on some options that will help Amira to help sort out her thoughts and feelings and cope with this situation in a healthier way. First, I will teach you a problem-solving technique called pump the brakes, which we like to use at Camp Coping Skills when we have tough decisions to make. It's a good way to figure out how to problem solve and think through choices that you can make in difficult and sometimes scary situations. Pump the brakes helps you determine if you have any control in changing the situation you are in for the better. And if not, what ways can you control your reaction to the situation by using helpful coping skills? First, you need to think of a stoplight. When we think of these camper situations, first stop, like at a red light, and brainstorm all the choices you could make if you were in their shoes. Then, I want you to think with caution, like the light is yellow, about all the possible outcomes of the different choices. Finally, choose, like you would at a green light, what your decision is, or the action you would suggest the camper take. When you have your choice, Say, green light. First, Amira should stop, like at a red light, and figure out what she can do to help herself deal with the situation and her thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In other words, figure out what is in her control and make a plan. Think with caution, like a yellow light. What are some actions she could do to help change the situation? Maybe Amira could set some boundaries for herself. She doesn't have to take sides with either parent when they disagree. Amira also doesn't have to feel responsible for fixing this problem between her parents either. Maybe when Amira's parents fight, she could find a place in her home where she feels safe and secure, a place where she can isolate herself from the arguing. She could listen to music, draw, distract herself with a game or show, or call a friend. Maybe Amira could talk to her parents about how their arguing makes her feel, so they're aware of the effect it has on her. Amira could always talk to a trusted adult at school, like her teacher, counselor, school resource officer, or nurse, and ask for their advice. Then, like you would at a green light, choose which direction you think Amira should go. In this case, you could do all of these ideas. Sometimes, in tricky situations though, you will have to decide on doing only one action and quickly. As you can see, there are some things Amira can do to have some control over unwanted feelings or situations. In a minute, your teacher will pause the video for a few minutes at a time. Your teacher will tell you what group you will be in to brainstorm some ways you might handle the other campers' stressful situations. Please remember to use the pump the brakes strategy of stop, think, and then choose. Situation 1. Jalen and his perfectionism. Please take some time to discuss in your small group. Then, your teacher will have you share out how you use the stoplight visual to guide your thinking and problem solving. Your teacher might have to remind you of the problem Jalen is dealing with before you problem solve. I'm sure you all came up with some great ideas about how Jalen could better handle the stress he puts on himself. Here are some ideas I came up with. Idea 1. Jalen could talk to his teacher about how much time they think the homework should take him so he has an idea of when it is okay to be done for the evening. Idea 2. His trusted adults could help him rate the level of importance of each assignment. Out of 5 points, with 5 being the most important tasks he will ever complete in his life, he should understand that no schoolwork will ever be a 5. Most homework might be a 2 or a 3. That might help him see how much work to put into the assignment. Idea 3. Jalen could talk to his basketball coach about a schedule where he could stay only 2 or 3 times per week for an extra 15 or 20 minutes of practice instead of every night. That way, he can use his other time to enjoy other hobbies, spending time with friends and family while still putting in extra effort on his basketball skills. Situation 2. Izzy's dad being addicted to cigarettes. Please take some time to discuss in your small group. Then, your teacher will have you share out how you use the stoplight visual to guide your thinking and problem solving. Your teacher might have to remind you of the problem Izzy is dealing with before you problem solve. I'm sure all of you came up with some great ideas about how Izzy could handle the situation with her dad's substance use disorder. Here are some ideas I came up with. Idea 1. Izzy could explain to her dad how she feels about him smoking all the time. She could discuss the health risks of smoking with him and how the secondhand smoke also affects her health. Idea 2. Izzy could talk to her dad about whether he would be willing to quit smoking. She could encourage her father in a positive and supportive way by sharing the benefits it would have on his and her health, that he would save money and have a better chance at living a longer life. Idea 3. Izzy could share strategies with her dad about reducing his stress. She could teach him some positive coping skills and even offer to help do chores around the house, like unloading the dishwasher and taking out the trash to help with some of the stress from all the housework. Idea 4. Izzy could talk to her doctor, school nurse, or other trusted adult to see what they might suggest when approaching her father about him quitting smoking. Situation 3. Raj being bullied. Please take some time to discuss in your small group. Then, your teacher will have you share out how you use the stoplight visual to guide your thinking and problem solving. Your teacher might have to remind you of the problem Raj is dealing with before you problem solve. I'm sure you all came up with some great ideas about how Raj could best handle the situation with being bullied at school. Here are some ideas I came up with. Idea 1. Raj could tell his teacher, the school counselor, his parents, or another trusted adult about how he is being bullied. One or more of these trusted adults could help him make a plan to stop the bullying. Idea 2. Raj can make sure he does his best to avoid being in places where adults are not supervising and bullying could more easily take place. He could also make sure he always has a supportive friend with him. Idea 3. Raj could text or call the Safer Ohio School tip line to report the bullying. This tip line can be accessed 24/7. The number to call is 844-723-3764. Idea 4. Raj and his teacher could encourage his classmates to be an upstander and not a bystander. Bystanders are people who witness the bullying but do not do anything to stop it. Upstanders are people who take action by telling the bully to stop his or her actions. Upstanders take action by encouraging others to stand up to the bully too, and help the victim by not participating in the bullying or allowing it to continue. Upstanders get trusted adults involved to help put an end to the bullying. Now, at Camp Coping Skills, we are going to focus on how to use some positive, healthy, physical coping skills when you feel the negative effects of stress on your mind and body. By the time you are in 2nd or 3rd grade, you have probably already used some small body movements like fidget toys, stress balls, and writing down what's bothering you and then ripping up the paper to help reduce your stress. Come on with me. Let's take a walk to the Physical Adventure Station to discover some more. When you are physically active, your body releases natural, feel-good chemicals like serotonin, endorphins, dopamine, and norepinephrine to naturally boost your mood and reduce negative stress. Sometimes, jumping on a trampoline with a trusted adult or a friend can help you feel better. Jumping around for at least 15 to 20 minutes can get your heart rate up and release natural, feel-good chemicals. This is a great way to relieve stress. If you don't have access to a trampoline, try doing jumping jacks or jogging in place for a few minutes. You can also try going for a walk or run. This can be done indoors or outdoors, but make sure you have the permission of a trusted adult. When you get back from your walk or run, I bet you will feel physically and mentally better. This is one of my personal favorites. I love to put on some fun music and dance around my house. It's even more fun for me to try to get my friends and family to join me. Dancing always makes me feel a bit better. Helping your parents or trusted adults with yard work or other outside tasks. This can put you in a better mood, and also it feels good to help others. Now, your adult may want to pause the video for a few minutes for you to discuss as a class what your favorite physical coping skill was that you learned today. Maybe your leader will have some volunteers demonstrate in front of the class. Well, it's almost time to leave camp coping skills for the day. But before we do, let's have a quick review of what we talked about. We discussed that sometimes in your life, when you are stressed about something, you can have some control over reducing your stress. We shared the pump the brakes model for making difficult decisions and problem solving. We talked about having healthy coping strategies to deal with our big emotions when we feel overwhelmed. We talked about physical activities we can use to improve our mood and stress level. Running, walking, jumping, dancing, and doing outdoor chores are all ways that can help you better to cope with stressful situations in your life. Thanks for coming to camp today to learn healthy ways to deal with stress. I hope that next time that you feel stressed, you try out one of these physical coping strategies instead of letting your big emotions and worries control you.